Now with the Conservative MP for North West Norfolk, James Wilde. Good morning, James.
Good morning, Rob.
So let's talk about the recent NHS league tables. What was your initial reaction to the news that the QE is ranked worst in the country?
Well, no one wants to be bottom of the league, and that was clearly a disappointing result, and it showed that at the moment people are having to wait too long for elective care for cancer referrals and as well as A&E. But the purpose of this sort of transparency only has one if it galvanises action to support staff within the hospital to deliver better services for patients, and it makes changes to ensure that those waiting times are reduced, whether that's through recruiting more specialists for the emergency department or cancer, or putting in place an urgent treatment centre. There's all these steps that now can be taken, and the trust needs to be supported to deliver that for the people of West Norfolk, but also people across Lincolnshire and Cambridgeshire who are also served by the QEH.
Yeah, I mean, you reiterated it there, and you previously said the hospital's performance is not good enough and the patients deserve better, and that's the most important thing. Obviously, the staff have got to think about as well. What specific steps are you pushing for to ensure that rapid improvement?
Well, I've raised repeatedly with the trust the need to get the waiting list down and the waiting times down, and we've seen some fluctuation where the waits have come down and then we've seen them tick up more recently. So they need to have more specialists in the emergency department. They have more specialist staff within the cancer side of things in order to bring them down. And also, I want to see them make greater use of technology. They are using software to help speed up the people leaving the hospital and being discharged and working with partners, which had been a big problem. There used to be a lot of people in the hospital who didn't need to be there. But there's also other applications they can use to improve theatre capacity to help tackle the cancer referral time. So there's a whole piece of work that needs to be done, and the new executive director who I met a few weeks ago was very much on the page of needing to change that, to change the working practices within the hospital to ensure that people get the support that they need, the staff get the support to deliver the outcomes for patients.
Well, the QEH's maternity department, as we've been hearing all morning, is now on one of the 14 trusts that are under national investigation, which is a concern. Can you tell us more about why? Because the Department of Health say not all those included are failing, and our guest earlier, Alex Stewart from Health Watch Norfolk, was confused as well.
Well, I heard the chief exec of the group of Norfolk Hospital saying she was surprised, and heard Alex saying that he was confused and bemused by it. The letter I had from Baroness Amos did not give specifics. It set out the criteria as to why the 14 trusts had been selected, but it didn't give specifics around QEH. And as has been noted, the CQC, the Independent Inspectorate of Hospitals, gave maternity services at the hospital a good rating in March 2024. I was looking back at that report, 23 pages, talked about the open culture, talked about the differences affecting care provided for ethnic minorities and less privileged groups. That's one of the things that this review is looking at. And it said that the staff there assessed risks to women and acted on them. So I'd like to have a bit more clarity from the government as to why QEH has been included. But the reality is we're part of that now, that review. And if it can lead to better outcomes for mums, then that's something that we should be welcoming. But I appreciate for the staff coming just hot on the heels of this negative league ranking will be uncomfortable and will cause some concern for them. So they need to be supported through this process, because they're going in and giving good dedicated care to families to go through the whole pregnancy process. So it could be unsettling, but I think we need to remember that people go to work every day at the QEH to deliver good care for the people in our community.
Yes, it's a bit confusing, and obviously it's not great for staff, because suddenly out of the blue, like you say, it's rated good not that long ago, and now suddenly out of the blue it's changed, or supposedly changed. Have your constituents raised any concerns about the maternity care locally?
I have to say, I went back and checked my records when this was announced, and I've only had probably less than a handful of cases that people have raised issues with me about the care that they've received at the hospital, which I think underlines that rating that the CQC gave was fair. Clearly, where there are issues, then they're incredibly serious and needed to be acted upon. But I think it's instructive as well that Health Watch Norfolk said that they similarly hadn't seen major evidence of problems